Hey guys and girls, welcome to Dating Dynamics. Matt and Nick here with you, and today is the topic, or as the title said, we're going to be reviewing the season 2, episode 1 of Provo's Most Eligible. All right, so we're excited. So Nick and I, we are dating coaches, and we focus on dating coaching for men. Being men, that's our main perspective. However, today we're going to be talking a little more about both sides of the spectrum, the ladies and the guys. And so for any of you ladies watching, you'll definitely get something out of this as well. So first of all, we're going to be looking at the 3 contestants, the 3 ladies in season 2, and we're going to actually make some predictions based off of their personalities. Just right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. So first up, we got Ellie, of course. So what was something that you noticed about Ellie that was sort of telling with her what she might be looking for in a guy?
Yeah, well, Ellie is already successful, and women tend to date across and up when it comes to this. She's going to be looking more for a guy that probably leans successful. She seems kind of the calm, confident, cute type, and I think she's gonna require a guy to be confident as well and fairly charming. But yeah, she's our favorite. She's my favorite. Just putting it out there.
You know, she's Matt's favorite, and she's my favorite. But anyways, so next up we have B. So for her, you know, we notice she's definitely more like flirtatious, and it's a lot about the romance, you know, all of those, getting those feelings of attraction. So obviously she's going to want a man that solicits that, or rather elicits that from her. Mm-hmm. And in order to do that, a man is going to have to not have her same vibe, because if they're both really high energy, there's not really a chance for that deeper sort of romance to bud. So she's probably going to go for a guy who's very confident, but also charming, okay? And also a guy who's willing to not give her all of the attention, especially if she's just like really kind of being too much.
He can be dismissive. He's willing to take a step back.
Right, especially because in this show, the guys can actually switch camps, you know? And so the fact that if there is a guy that is attractive that she feels like she could lose, then she'll probably want to pursue him even more.
Yep. And then we have Lauren. So Lauren she just seems like a normal girl. She's obviously attractive. She's a pretty girl. And she's a little older. And I'm already making a prediction here. I think she's going to hit it off with James, the rapper, James the Mormon. I think she'll be looking for a guy who is older, a little more confident, but also just calm and collected and successful. I think she's going to be really looking for a successful guy, because she herself, she just doesn't seem super ambitious. And so she needs that, you know, that guy to be successful.
Right, people are often attracted to their opposites, and actually for good reason, because if you both don't have much ambition, it's going to be rough. But if you're both super ambitious, your home life might be terrible, so that's a good thing. Another thing is that since she's been divorced, she would probably be understandably a little bit more wary. And so, as Matt said, a guy that's a little more calm, a little more predictable, is probably going to be her style. And I agree.
Yes.
I think James the Mormon would be a good fit. Who knows if they're in the same camp or not, but, you know.
They will be.
They'll find each other.
They will be.
You heard it here first.
I would say in terms of susceptibility to players, because there's going to be a few players in the mix. I would say B, because she is more high energy, more emotional. And I would say the least susceptible being Lauren, because she's older, you know, and going through a divorce, it makes a girl think more about like the logical things and not let the emotions take over the relationship.
Absolutely. So let's get into exactly how we're going to judge, like the criteria we're going to use to make our predictions and do our analysis. So in any kind of relationship, it needs to start with that spark. And tonight it's the pilot episode, and so they don't really know each other. The main thing that these girls are going to be using, the criteria, is going to be how charming is this guy. At least that's going to be the number one criteria. Mm-hmm. So in order to gauge how charmed these girls are, the behavior we're going to look for in the guys is going to have to do mostly with how well they flirt, and that includes their body language and things like that. What's something else you're going to look for, Matt?
So definitely body language. How's the eye contact? Are they also willing to show physical touch in a confident way? You know, because there are guys who are willing to establish physical touch, whether, you know, the hug or the arm on the shoulder or whatever, but who does it confidently and not creepy? And the guys who avoid it entirely, that's going to be an issue, because you need that. You need that for some tension. I would say, obviously, your posture, and I mentioned eye contact, like that confident body language, like I'm a man and I'm confident. And I would say establishing what we call a man-to-woman frame, if you could expound a bit.
So with a man-to-woman frame, I mean, this is a dating show, and so the guys that come into this and don't even approach it like they're dating or like they're potentially interested in these girls are probably going to lose out first, because that's going to show, whether it's true or not, it's going to signal to most of these girls that they're not confident, or that they're just not interested, or that they themselves aren't interesting, that they don't have charm to show. And so regardless of the reason, a guy that doesn't show charm and make things man to woman, then they're probably going to lose out first.
Yep. Last thing we're really going to pay attention to is how willing is a guy to take a step back, okay? Because the thing is, if you're just, I'm interested, and you never take a step back, that comes off desperate, a little creepy, a little predatory. Girls typically don't like that. And so seeing which guys are willing to take a step back, you know, give a critique or say, I don't know about this girl, that's going to be very important.
Right. Plus, it takes all the fun out of the whole interaction, because if a girl knows like that the guy is completely sold on her, then it says, well, you know, on to the next, because I know that this is a secure option. So, good point.
Yep. But that does it for our previewing. So we're going to be watching now, and we're excited. We'll see you in a bit.
Wow. Yeah, it was something. We are going to jump right into what we were talking about earlier, the things we're going to look for, okay? So that first thing we're going to look for was man-to-woman frame. Did they establish it? How did our guys do? Well, they did okay. I mean, it's a show about dating, so if you showed up and didn't say, hey, you look pretty, and give them a hug, that wouldn't be very good. They all basically did the baseline. The real question is, are they going to be able to maintain that man-to-woman frame and keep that going?
Yeah, I think for Daniel in particular, Daniel and B, they really hit it off. He's a funny dude. You know, he's got a lot of social. He's a very social guy. Yes, yeah. Yes. But the thing is he going to be able to maintain a man-to-woman frame, or is he going to be like the funny friend guy and end up friend zoning himself? So
I think he's going straight into the friend zone. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Another thing we talked about was the willingness to take a step back. We really didn't see that at all tonight. All of the guys, it was forward, it was positive. So first off, like, you know, maybe right off the bat, it's not crucial, especially in this situation where the women don't have to make a split decision right at that moment, yes or no. And so, but it will become very important throughout the weeks, seeing those guys who are willing to take a step back, willing to critique or willing to say, I don't know about this girl, it's going to become important.
Right. Oh, agreed. Let's talk about Lauren first. So Lauren showed that she was certainly willing. I think she was the only girl of the three willing to actually test the guys in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as Matt said, first stage of the interaction, you don't need to, but she immediately showed, especially with James the Mormon, that she was willing to throw out a little test and see what came back. And we'll roll that clip, actually.
I have an important question.
What's that?
How do you feel about Connect 4?
I usually win, so if you like to lose, then...
Oh, okay. I look forward to playing you and meeting you.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
So, as you can see, she did test him. He kind of navigated it. It took him aback. You can see, he had to look away, think of a response, and then he gave one, and it was okay. He kind of redeemed himself, but we'll see going forward with him.
Yeah, another interaction that stuck out to me with Lauren was with something that happened when she was talking to Johnny. Okay, so Johnny seems like a great guy, Canadian. So he said something, and actually we'll go ahead and roll that.
So you saw my profile. Have you ever dated a Canadian before?
I have gone on dates,
Gone
but
on dates?
not dated, so...
All right, well, you got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
So what he said was good. You've got a lot to look forward to. That's a good thing to say, but his body language, his tone, the way he said it was the problem.
Almost like his body language put a question mark at the end of the sentence. You have a lot to look forward to? That's not how he said it, but that's how his body said it. Well, you have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Great guy, though. All right, so we're moving on to B. Nick, what'd you think?
Well, B likes men, apparently. A lot of them. Almost all of them. But, that's not a bad thing in and of itself. One thing to note, though, is that she seems to like guys very often that aren't very good for her. In fact, she called herself out on that twice. Let's roll
2
that.
times.
Okay, he could be the best guy in the whole world, but yes, looking at these pictures, I'm very scared that he's a bro that would potentially break my heart. Yeah, like he makes me nervous, but at the same time, like, I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm looking for someone I can have a silly goose time with. Cute, I like that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Sure, on the summer. I have this feeling that he's good. I've been wrecked by people like him before, but I don't know. That's kind of a judgment. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, swipe.
Okay, so that being the case, she recognizes that they're not good, but she still swipes up on camera. Her mom's watching, right? So what does that mean? Why would she do that? Well, Matt and I actually did a whole video on why women tend to date jerks instead of the nice guy. And when we say women, we mean some women do. Her being an example of that. So we're not going to get into that too much, but if that's something that you've seen and wondered about, or maybe it's something you've experienced with yourself, check that out because you don't have to get stuck in that cycle. It's not good.
Most definitely. In terms of troublemakers, okay, we've got them narrowed down.
On the show?
So,
Some on the
yes.
show?
So I don't trust these guys. Got Walker and Keaton. If anybody's going to stir things up, it's going to be those two.
No, they
Mark
seem
my
so nice.
words. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of, so Walker, y'all got to know his sister from last season, but you don't know his long-lost sister, Ellen Page.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, great posture, man. Very good posture. The whole nice to meet me thing, we'll roll that.
I think I walked in and had good posture, and she probably thought I was a good-looking guy and was excited to meet me.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
Hey, we'll see how that plays out for you.
Yep, good luck. So now we're going to move on to Devendra. I think I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, sure.
So he and B matched, and he, if you notice in the interview beforehand, was just very kind of professional and answering questions. But when he walks in he's doing so, gonna see a girl that he's actually attracted to, and you could see it all in his face, his smile, his swagger as he walks, all just spot on. He made a really good hug. He actually dipped in, and wasn't afraid to have some
Tuck it in there, dog.
Yeah, Key and Peele level here. And then he pulls back. There's a lot of playfulness. He's really over dramatic, but he calls himself out for it. So it's okay. It's like, hey, I'm going to put on a little show here. Enjoy. And then he actually does a really good job. And even though he delivered a bunch of dialogue, he was like, he didn't do it too fast. He was well paced. It was like, yeah, I'm putting on a show and I'm confident in my ability to do it. So sit back and enjoy. It was impressive.
Yeah, let's just roll it. Great job, man.
Oh, did you get him?
Yes.
Wow. You look so handsome. Thank you. Hi.
I'm Dev. I have this whole bit planned out here, so I mean,
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay. Serious face.
Okay.
Right, not cheesy.
Okay.
All right. Chrysanthemums.
No. Almost.
One sec.
We're almost there. We're good.
Hydrangeas. Whatever this is. All those flowers are beautiful, but they're pointless without the queen bee. Please, this for you.
Oh.
My name's Dev, again.
Thank you so much. That was so sweet.
And I expect it back at the end of the night.
Okay, well, you're off to a very good start, my friend.
Oh, and something you might have noticed there, the one kiss of the night. Who gets it? Devendra gets it. Right, last, but of course not least, Ellie. So a few things to note about Ellie. That girl picky. She be swiping down just the way I like it. Why is that? Well, first of all, she's young. She knows she's got plenty of time. I don't think she's banking on this for love necessarily. So yeah, she's being picky. She's also, she's successful, intelligent girl and attractive. So yeah, you can definitely see she's going to be the most picky of the three.
I agree with that. I think she swiped down a lot. Now, so one of the things that we mentioned we were going to kind of keep an eye out at the beginning of this was how the guys did with physical touch. And really the only examples of that in this early stage are just hugs, right? Now, there were some good and bad examples throughout. However, I think the very best and worst examples came at the very end of this episode when you had Tyler Trent. Sorry, Tyler, you're in the worst camp.
You can redeem yourself. It's okay.
Maybe. It's hard to come back from that. But, so he comes up and he gives a fast, nervous hug.
Yeah.
I'd say nervous hug.
Let's roll that.
All right, I guess I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
So in that clip, you can tell that the message he is sending is that he's hugging her out of obligation and he can't wait to get away from her. Now, is that because he's not attracted to her? Doubt it. It's because he's afraid and she recognizes that. So not good. When you go to hug girls, guys, have a good one. And for a good example, we got old Scott Anderson. So for Scott, not only did he give a really good hug that he held and everything. In fact, he steps on her toes and he says, hey, sorry for stepping on your toes.
Yeah, let's roll that.
My goodness, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Sorry for stepping on your toes.
No, you're good. I look forward to talking to you more later.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
So you can see that even though it's in a high pressure situation, he steps on the girl's toes. He could be really jerk away from her and, oh, I'm really sorry. It was just more of a, hey, I'm sorry about that. And he maintains this calm frame. He's very in control of himself. In fact, of all the guys on the show tonight, we had some really good guys. We had some charmers. This is the only guy that I would say comes across as a Prince Charming, which is what you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the prince. He seems to be that high value guy that's got a lot going for him. And he was also very charming, confident. We might be a little biased because we're Southern boys too, even though we've lost those accents a little bit, you know, still there a little bit.
Yeah. He's also a super good guy. I mean, he's taking care of his little brother who's got Down syndrome and loves being involved with that community. So if anybody could charm Ellie, it would be a Prince Charming who's a Southerner and has a lot going for them.
Like me.
Sure. I mean, why not? So we hope you all enjoyed this breakdown. Those are kind of our predictions as well as far as who's going to do well and who is not. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, keep in mind we're going to be doing these analysis videos for each episode, so stay tuned. Also, if there was anything that you heard tonight, maybe if a term or just an idea that you never really thought of before and you'd like to learn more, check out our YouTube channel, Dating Dynamics. We've got lots of videos on all these topics. And for men, we even offer personalized one-on-one coaching. Not for the ladies, sorry.
Yet.
It could be coming.
We'll see.
Well, guys, thanks for checking us out. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.